Welcome to Ed Fluential Sports, where precision. It's your host Ed. I deep into the plays, players, and stories shaping the game. And today I got Ed from Wrestling with Things with me. How you doing?
Doing all right, man. It's always good to be on Ed Fluential Sports. Thanks for having me today.
Yes, sir. I wanted to change it up, do something a bit different. Since I've seen you checking out or dropping some shorts, like interview with you and talk about the landscape of AEW in 2026. So as a WWE, what made you check out AEW more this year?
Yeah, yeah, facts. That honestly, that was a goal for me in general, just because I want to be able to give them more of a chance and get a little bit more familiar with other talents. So I'm with that.
It makes sense. I rock with that. And I know you're a big fan of Dave. What do you think about him not being able to challenge for the world title again?
That's a good question, man. Honestly, like it reminds me of Cody Rhodes doing that when he was in AEW, which I'm gonna be honest, it's a little confusing. I don't see the upside. I think I maybe slightly understood it in Cody's case, but I don't understand it in like Hangman's page. He feels like a AEW lifer for the most part. He's a true homegrown talent, so it feels to me like, damn, if you're gonna stick to that stipulation, how are you gonna have like one of your most proven talents never fight for the world title? I mean, this is wrestling, so sometimes you find loopholes and ways out of it and creative ways out of it, but it feels like right now they're gonna stick to their guns. But I wonder if way down the line they'll find a way out of it. Like, will the champion challenge him, and like that's the loophole? He didn't technically challenge. They kind of beg to face him. Like it's gonna be something interesting to keep an eye on. Like, what do you think? What do you think their logic is for putting that stipulation on the line in the first place? Because they could have did a lot of things.
I don't know. I think so. I see the purpose of that more stakes to the match. I'm not a big MJF guy, but I thought if you're going to do that, you might as well have Hangman win because I still think process the idea of Hangman never challenging for the title again. It has to be some type of loophole that they find because this is the same thing that Cody Rhodes did. Which I think agreeing to this is just really tough, especially with how talented you are. Like even for Cody, I get it, but it's like you still helped start the company. You should be
Mm-hmm.
on that world title. I feel like it's
Mm-hmm.
like, man, you've been a world champion before, so but it's still so much more you can do. 'Cause he's not, he's like the same age as Logan Paul, I think. So he still got plenty of years left. So I really don't get it. It's some type of loophole. Maybe give him another world title shot, but I don't understand the logic.
Yeah, it is. It's quite strange. I mean, the only way it would make sense, like I said, unless they know they're gonna find an out, or like, man, he's just content with never winning the big one in his company any ever again, and eventually leaving. But it doesn't feel that way. He feels like a AEW lifer.
Yeah, but one thing I thought about in like a joking way, you could bring back a new character, like a Mick Foley type of
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
because he entered the Royal Rumble 4 times. So what if he wear like a ball cap, a beard or something, and he come back? Now he's a different person with a different name, but we still know who it. But that might be a funny way to do it. It'd be a little comedic. That's
yeah,
I thought about.
yeah. That'd be pretty entertaining. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, obviously sticking with some of the guys we've been seeing. MJF, one of the most controversial wrestling figures. What do you think about MJF?
I think honestly, every time I hear him talk, I'm like, this is how it's done, man. Like, uh, a no filter. He has no filter, and many will say he takes it too far, but that is what a classic heel does. He may sound like he's going below the belt sometimes, but I think that's good television when it's all said and done. But great heel, and honestly, he's one of them characters that can never ever be babyface. And I know that's saying a lot, because he kind of had that weird mini baby face run when he's like, "I'm your people's asshole,"
Yeah,
and
what
I'm
happened?
your. It was a little awkward.
Yeah,
It was a little awkward, and like, don't get me wrong, the some of the performances were still good, but it was awkward because it's like, man, he's so good at being a heel. He's really, and I think he's a little underappreciated in the ring. Like he can have a good match and tell really good stories. He's not all his mic skills. I think he's clearly one of AEW's best homegrown talents. And I know WWE tried to offer him a bag at some point in negotiations, and he stayed with AEW. Props to him for getting his money, and I know it was a big money, but um, that just shows you what type of asset he is. If even WWE's trying to throw a bag at you, um, definitely one of the most gifted talkers of his generation, and I think he's very entertaining. I just think, well, if I had to critique him a little bit, is my only critique with him is I do think sometimes his promos are like they have the same exact tone and angle. Like, I'm better than you. I'm gonna talk
yeah,
about your family or run you down. But again, that he's good at it, so I can't even be mad.
yeah. I can feel that because I think I didn't like the Brody King stuff. The match was good, but the feud itself, I just didn't enjoy it. But their payoff, they did have good payoff with the match. And I've seen MJF perform live. It was him versus Osprey, 2024. That was a really good match.
Yeah, he's a really good worker. He really is.
Yeah. My next question: when it comes to like seeing clips posted online compared to actually watching the full shows, what's the difference between that?
I think most of the clips I see, it's silly shit. Like like I was literally watching one, like I think yesterday. I forget the match, but it looked like some sort of multi women's match, and they had this weird spot where everybody was trying to suplex each other in
Yeah.
unison, and like they
You,
waited for like four girls to come out. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, damn, like this spot right here is it's kind of amateur looking. It's kind of awkward, but um, I will say like most of the clips I see, it's awkward, silly things like that. But then when I watch the show, it's much more. I will say the matches are aggressive. They have a physicality. They are acrobatic and athletic, but they're very physical. These guys lay their stuff in, and I could appreciate that. I like wrestling when it's laid in, the same ballet, lay it in, give it that realism it needs a little bit. I'll give them the respect in that respect. They're not afraid to take those major risks in order to make the moves look really good and physical. I'm not even talking about the death match component of things. Like I'm talking about like Kenny Omega with his V triggers and his knees. Like they always really look sharp and good. So I will say the clips make AEW look all silly and all sloppy, but I will say when you watch the show, there's a lot more aggression and physicality than they get credit for.
yeah. It was a trios match on Dynamite. That spot with the women. I didn't really get what they were doing there. It's like that was really silly.
Random.
And it's like, yeah, some of the clips because AEW, Tony Khan does some wild stuff. Like the syringe spot in the MJF Hangman match, I thought that was really
That was
stupid.
a little much.
Like I think everything else before that was fine, but now it's just getting out of hand. And
Yeah,
those
yeah.
was a match too. So that's why stuff gets taken out of context because you do stuff like that and it makes people not want to watch it. Because why am I seeing a syringe in a wrestling ring? That's kind of weird.
Yeah. It's like that match could still be brutal without that spot. You don't need it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think overall it's definitely much better watching the full shows. Now some of the clips can still be good, but that's just for wrestling in general. You get more perspective watching the full shows.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now I want to switch and talk about the women's roster for a little bit. You got women like Tekla, Mina Shirakawa, Tony Storm, Chris Statlander in the main event. Which one of them stands out to you the most?
Chris Statlander. I've always liked her work. She's one of my favorite, if not my favorite in AEW. I think Willow's a nice addition to their division. She always has motion in their division. I think like she's kind of like their hardcore women's wrestler in a sense a little bit. Um, but I'm gonna be real. Generally speaking, outside of Statlander, Willow, I like Julia Hart a little bit. Um, I like Queen Amanita. I actually think that's a untapped asset big time for AEW. I think they need to let her shine a little bit, Queen Amanita. But I think their women's division could use some work. I think it's one of their weaker points. That's just my opinion. I think they could use some more star power. I do think in some respects she was overrated, but I think their roster does miss Britt Baker. I do think she gave them a certain amount of clout and star power and cachet. And I don't know if she's active or injured, but I do like Thunder Rosa too. Um, so yeah, I think Britt Baker is a good missing piece for them. But I know there's rumors she may or may not um, come back, but I wonder what she's doing because I think I saw a tweet recently where a fan asked about her and she said it's not her fault she's not on TV. She's not making the choice. So it almost implied like maybe Tony Khan's sitting there on the bench. I don't know.
Yeah, Tony Khan got his selfish ways. I don't know the full extent of the Britt Baker thing. Never really. It was a lot of weird stuff going on, but Tony Khan, he is selfish in his ways, keeping certain people off TV for reasons that probably won't be revealed to years later. Because he probably can't say nothing now, still being under contract. But I can see that point. I think the women's division is doing a good job, but they do miss like Mercedes. She got to lose all them damn belts, so she's not on TV right now because she got to lose all them damn belts in the other
Mhm.
places. So we have Tony Storm. I don't know if she's injured or if she's pregnant. That's a rumor going around because she missed the show last minute. So that's when people started speculating that she might be pregnant. So I don't know what's going on with that. We'll see in the coming weeks. But I think Tekla's been doing a good job as women's champion. She took it off of Chris Statlander, one of the best heels, I feel like. And then Queen Lamanada, she's coming back next Wednesday. She was out with an injury, so she'll be back next Wednesday fighting Willow in a
Let me who do you think did you think Britt Baker and Mercedes was the best talents they had to offer in the division, or do you think it's someone else?
Uh, that's a good question. I say, yeah, I think with Mercedes' character work, it's been really good. Like, I think Tony Storm has the best character work for the women as far as AEW goes, but I think Mercedes, she's close to that. But she got a really good character. And then Britt Baker, she can give you different stuff. She can give you the promos and the in ring work. So I definitely think they're a miss. Now Mercedes, I know she's still wrestling. Like I said, with Britt Baker, I don't really know what's going on with that.
Mhm. Mhm. All right.
So who do you now? Let's talk about the women's tag team division. If you know much about that, do you think WWE or AEW has the better women's tag team division?
That's a good question. I think lately WWE's finally got like on a good streak with actually having a division. Um, I will. Those tag titles felt cursed for a while, but like I like what they've been doing, especially with Naya and Lash Legend. And I don't like the fact that they're still a team, but they're doing their part well. Charlotte and Alexa, I think they're better as singles wrestlers, but they're doing well in the tag team division. And having the Bella Twins back, I know everybody don't rock with them, but I think the tag division's perfect for them. They're gonna shine an extra light on the division, and we know Oscar and Kyrie Sane are always consistent. I like Bailey and Lyra's chemistry that they've been able to develop. So it really feels like they got motion, and they're about to have a WrestleMania match with multiple tag teams. I think they got a little bit more momentum. Whereas I think AEW's tag titles are still a little fresh. So still finding themselves a little bit. So I'll give WWE the edge.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I think AEW did a better job building some of the teams going into the tournament, but they haven't really capitalized off of some of that because most of these teams you really don't see them now, and they had signed inspiration for whatever reason they don't even use them. So I don't know what's the I don't know what's the
I actually like them. They're pretty good to have.
I thought they were gonna stay in TNA because as soon as they came back to TNA, they got the tag titles. I didn't think they'll leave, but Tony Khan probably threw a bag at them just to not use them.
Yeah, yeah.
But I can see why you say WWE because at least recently it has been more consistent. I do think Charlotte and Alexa need to split up. Like you could have that. That could be a SummerSlam match. I thought they were gonna go with a triple threat at Mania with them and Jade. I thought that's what it was gonna be with Alexa being in the Elimination Chamber. But Jade really that's fine.
Yeah, yeah, I'm satisfied with that direction too.
Yeah. All right, my next question out of because I know you watch Fourth Rope as well. Out of WWE, AEW, and Fourth Rope, which one do you think has been the most consistent this year?
Mm. Well, I've only watched. I'm gonna be real. I've only watched 2 4th rope shows, so my catalog ain't crazy with them. But I'm glad I discovered them because I didn't know nothing about them at first. But so I kind of have to give it to them because both the shows that I've seen, it's like, yo, they bring something very different to wrestling, man. Like the fact that they predominantly feature wrestlers of color. The fact that they combine it and have some hip hop performances live for their fans, it's like pro wrestling and a concert rolled into one. It's like that's quite an experience that you ain't getting anywhere else. And like if you look at the promos and matches, they're actually very good. I haven't seen independent promotions like so well ran with the production and how they handle everything. So I'm gonna give it to Fourth Rope only because it's like I, I haven't seen much mistakes, but I'm gonna continue watching and we'll see. Yeah, but I will say this, like in general, WWE has WWE's had its low points, but I think in general, since Elimination Chamber, there's been consistency with pushing stories forward, and I'll kind of say the same thing for AEW since a little bit before Revolution. There's been a little bit more consistency, but I'll give it to Fourth Rope here just to shout them out a little bit.
Yeah, I think WWE. I think Raw really picked it up. I think because I think Raw better than SmackDown right now.
Oh,
So
big time.
I've been liking what they're doing on Raw. SmackDown kind of feels all over the place, but it's up. But Raw, NXT, they doing their thing. And for AEW, their Dynamite's always been good. It's really just about Collision for me. Can you make that watchable? Because you don't. That's mainly the stories progress on Dynamite, which is cool, but you got another show to focus on. Like we want to see more. And I feel like they've done that the last few weeks.
Let me ask you, as somebody who watches AEW a lot more closely, do you get the feeling like that Tony Khan tries to make? Obviously, they're both AEW, but do you get the feeling he tries to give Collision a different feel in tone than Dynamite? Does he try to make differentiations in little ways of the show, or does it just feel like another Dynamite?
Now, he tries to make it different because Dynamite, it's always, at least for me, it's like Dynamite. I'm always expecting something big to happen. Like Jericho just returned this past
Yeah,
Wednesday.
yeah.
I went to a Dynamite, like I said, saw MJF and Ospreay wrestle for an hour. It's like it feels like some title changes and stuff, and it's actual like the stories are progressed. Get some good promos. Collision, it just feels like a bunch of exhibition matches. Like you could
Okay.
say this for like a live event or something like that. Like it don't really feel like maybe you advance one or two things, but it don't feel like nothing progresses on Collision.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah. And my last question, it's always a topic of discussion. Do you think AEW can surpass WCW?
Damn. To me, in order it's tough. Like it's possible they could surpass them in longevity. Like they're 6 years in, they're still kind of young, but it's possible they could surpass them in longevity. Um, in that respect, they got a little long way to go, but it's gonna be hard to pass them in as far as impact on wrestling because it's always that famous 83 weeks of beating Monday Night Raw. WCW could always hang their hat on, you know what I'm saying? Like WCW could always hang their hat on like making homegrown Sting a star, Ric Flair's, the NWO, those key factions. So I don't know if they could surpass them as cultural impact on wrestling, but they could surpass them as far as longevity, success, and money made. It's not the craziest thing in the world. As long as Tony Khan keeps funding them and as long as wrestlers keep coming, it's possible.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's important. It's important for them to get like MJF. He's been in he was Happy Gilmore too. Mercedes, she's been on the red carpet in AEW. So you keep getting more stuff like that. That's going to progress you even further. So they got to keep getting the movie roles. Like so, it's the reason why those specific people have been chosen for it. Because you can't say that about most of the people in AEW. So I think they got to really work on that. Then Tony Khan, it really comes down to him. Like some of these, you got to make a few better decisions, and I think it's possible. Maybe not right now, but definitely think it's a possibility.
Yeah, like maybe 10, 12 years in, 15 years in, it'll be something to at least observe and look at. And I agree with that. They need to I know they are want to be different from WWE in that way, but I think they need to lean into crossover stars, lean into their wrestlers being in other platforms, like lean into maybe borrowing some names. Like I loved it when they bought Shaq in to
Yeah,
wrestle with Cody Rhodes and all that stuff, and when they bought Rick Ross with Swerve, like those were some of
yeah,
my favorite AEW things. Like lean into that more. It's okay. Like that's not gonna mean you're copying WWE. That means you're actually trying to expand and get new eyeballs. Like I think they need to lean into that more. And I hate to say it because I don't like how she talks shit about wrestling and disrespected it, but they should lean into this Ronda Rousey thing. I've heard that maybe she might not have signed a deal and she's not gonna be around like that, but I think lean into using her to get eyeballs on the brand. Like if there's a way to do it as her being a heel, like I think you gotta lean into these little things that can help your company grow and get more in the mainstream.
yeah. I think one thing I wish they would lean into is you've had Shaq on your show before, so you can find a way to get let's MVP. Get MVP on NBA TV or whatever with Shaq and them. Have him talk basketball a little bit.
Word.
Cause like that's something like I feel like that's something that could be really valuable for them. Then the Ronda thing, I agree with that, but like I think it comes back to the Tony Storm thing because we don't know no update on Tony Storm yet because I think Dell's looking at the story. They still should find something for Ronda to do because whether she win or lose that upcoming fight, it's a good heat either way. It's gonna give the faces something to
That's
talk about.
true. That's really true.
If she
That's
wins, she got something to brag about. So it can go both ways.
that's a great point, yo. If she comes back, there's a lot of material to play with there. The, Let me ask you this as kind of a uh, we kind of stumbled and touched on it on the chat, but I'd like to hear it from your perspective that watches more closely. If you had to 2025, 2026, what would you say recently are the main pros and cons on the top of your head when it comes to the company for AEW?
I think, oh, that's a good question. The biggest pro is you got multiple people in the main event scene. That's something I always like, but they're not like forcing multi-man matches with like four ways and five ways. It's like you got multiple guys fighting for the title. They're letting you know they're in the world title scene, and they're having just to prove what they should be to win the world title. So I like that. Like Andrade, he picking up a lot of steam that he been there. He got a
Yeah,
full gimmick with the ladies, so it's working with the
I
crowd.
was there.
So he doing his thing. The biggest con for me, I'd probably say pay per views. Pay per views are too long.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that. I heard some people. I didn't watch Revolution. I saw highlights, but I saw some people say like it went like over across midnight. I'm like, damn, that's long. If you start
Yeah,
at 8 o'clock,
I went to sleep and finished it in the morning. I missed like good matches
damn,
because it's understand you want to have all these matches that have a purpose or whatever, but at the end of the day, you got to satisfy the fans too, and you're doing pre-show matches, so it's people that's already there seeing 2 or 3 matches on the pre-show. Then it's like 10, 11 on the main show. That's a lot to digest. So they're gonna enjoy the matches, but they're gonna be super tired. So
super
you gotta
tight.
find some type of balance. Say like some of these matches you can be on Collision, you can just save it. Like I think 7 is a good balance for matches on a pay per view. Like I think AEW does too many matches and WWE doesn't do enough on their pay per views.
Word, word. That is a good point. Yeah, that is what's going on though. Like, what is up with this 5 match trend with Triple H? Like I get it. You want to give matches enough time and let it breathe, but damn, you even a 6 match would make a big difference to me. Like,
Like it's like
come
four
on.
matches, 4 matches on a pay per view. Then it's not even a segment. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like yeah. No, that's a fact. I was. It's funny. I kind of had that the as my con, and then what you said before about multi people in the main event. As a more casual viewer, I kind of had that as a pro and a con, but that's probably because I'm more of a casual. Like I think it's a pro that like MJF is champion. He's feuding with Kenny Omega, but you still have Darby Allin calling him out and wanting the title. Like to me, that makes the title feel really special. And like you got other people like declaring their case and wanting to kind of chase them. But as a casual viewer, it could be a little confusing because I'll turn the channel, I'll see a Brody King MJF segment, and the next week I'll see Kenny Omega. So it's like, damn, wasn't he feuding mainly with Kenny Omega? So it could be confusing from a casual perspective. Whereas I think WWE kind of does it, they're a little more focused. Roman and CM Punk are feuding. You're gonna see them focus on each other for the most part. But I do wish WWE would kind of like do what they're doing with Darby Allin. Like have fucking Obafemi say, "Hey, I'm not in this beef, but when I beat Brock Lesnar, I'm coming after Roman and Punk." Play with setting up challengers to wanna go after the top prize. So I think that's a big pro for AEW. It's a pro and a con to me, but I think it's a big pro. I have noticed a little lately, like a little bit more diversity with at least having bigger guys. Samoa Joe featured consistently well. Brody King consistently featured well. He's grown a little bit. Shelton Benjamin has gotten his reps in AEW pretty well. I'm hoping Lashley, now that he's back, we can get some motion there, man. I think he's very underappreciated in wrestling, but I've noticed AEW's gotten a little better in that area with not just being smaller guys. And like, I like the fact that they do, for better or worse, they got solid youth on their roster too. Darby's 28, Julia Hart's 23, Hook is 26, Daniel Garcia, who also wrestled on Fourth Rope and looked great, 27. Like I could appreciate that they have youth for a lot of their featured wrestlers too. But definitely premium live events too long, and I think they don't lean into star power enough. They could sometimes feel like they just are content with really good matches and they don't want to lean into good segments, good promos, good, shenanigans. So I would say those are my cons.
Okay. I think the I think the MJF and Kenny segment on Wednesday was really good with MJF because we know Kenny had the career threatening injury. And MJF saying that I talked to your doctor. I thought that was a cold moment. So, I know you have weak points. I know where to attack you at. But yeah, that was some good points. I can see it. Like even going back to WWE, Seth never got his rematch for the title after he lost it. He didn't lose
Right.
his title; he got injured, so he don't got to force it
Exactly.
into the match. But he could say at Backlash, I'm going after that title or something.
Right. Right.
But yeah, do you have anything else about AEW?
Uh no, nothing to add. I thought this was a hell of a good conversation. You had some good questions for that really got me thinking. But yeah, I've been watching them a little more. I could get a little more consistency under my belt to get a more complete view of their roster because there is a good amount of wrestlers that I haven't given enough of a chance yet. But I'll be watching a little bit more and we could have even more conversations like this in the future.
Yeah, yeah, this was a great conversation. I enjoyed it. You even threw some questions at me that had me think a little bit. With that being said, make sure y'all like this video. But first, make sure y'all subscribe to both our channels. Subscribe to Wrestling with Things. They just dropped a dope video with Hear These Thoughts talking about WrestleMania. So yeah, but like this video, comment y'all thoughts about AEW, share and subscribe for other people to see.
Word.